The Movie Preview Critic. Informing and entertaining your movie world.
One of the reasons we go to the movies is to be amazed. We want our jaws to drop, we want visual magic, we crave holy shit moments. We've all experienced the sensation of a movie stretching our imaginations. Our minds zoom out like the camera, our consciousness expands, along with the art of cinema. No other genre creates these moments more than science fiction, and no other genre demands more from the filmmaker and the audience. Each new idea has to be better than the one that came before, each filmmaker more ingenious than the previous, and each generation of moviegoers more sophisticated in their visual literacy. Talented movie makers of the past were hindered from realizing their radical visions because of primitive special effects, which should have been called shitty effects. But the more stories with imagination, stress, and demand in movies accommodate their visual dreams, the faster cinema evolved. The movies that accomplish this earn the title Holy Shit, the movie. It moved slowly from one visionary film to the next, passed on when the reaction of the audience deemed it worthy of the honor. My first Holy Shit, the movie experience in an actual theater was in 1991, Terminator 2, the liquid morphing T-1000, and the beginning of the CGI revolution. Sure, Willow and the Abyss gave us glimpses inside the womb of this still developing CGI innovation, but it was Terminator 2 that unveiled the upright, evolved version of this technology. Just as, if not more, revolutionary than the addition of sound, color, and widescreen to the movie-making repertoire. Finally, the wish asked for countless times by past moving picture storytellers was granted, and at the same time, a challenge to all current and would-be future filmmakers was issued. There are no more limits to manifesting the imagination, no more obstacles, no more excuses. If you can dream it, movies can do it. 2 years later, Jurassic Park earned the Holy Shit, the movie title, and proved that CGI was here to stay. Then, in 1999, The Matrix whipped out its huge of imagination, wrapped the Holy Shit, the movie title around it, and challenged everyone, saying, "I dare you to dream bigger than this." In the 8 years since the groundbreaking mind-altering action cyberpunk kung fu classic, movies have seemed to dream bigger. However, most of these visual miracles have been based on ancient dreams, adapted from novels and comic books written 10, 20, 30, and even 40 years ago. That's where Jumper fits in. It was written in 1992 by Stephen Gould. So will this 16-year-old idea outdo The Matrix and earn the title of Holy Shit, the movie? Let's examine the preview to see what it's about. Hayden Christensen is a quiet kid that one day discovers he can teleport with his mind. He goes home, is verbally abused by his alcoholic father, clicks his mental ruby red slippers, and jumps away from his domestic hell. In his new life, he spends time robbing banks with his mental teleporter and taking exotic trips. Things are going fine until one day he meets another dude with his abilities and learns that there's a long-time war going on between jumpers and paladins. He then meets a government agent played by Samuel L. Jackson, who wants to capture him. The jumping action starts, and everyone is appearing and disappearing all over the place. Eventually, Sam Jackson kidnaps Hayden's girlfriend, and he fights to get her back, all over the world, and ultimately in outer space. More than likely, Sam is defeated, but the war between paladins and jumpers doesn't end, because the studio, New Regency Production, is planning for this to be a trilogy, so get ready for the end to be a setup for a sequel. Overall, this idea has a lot of potential. We're all familiar with the transporters of Star Trek, so this just takes the concept to the next level, basically introducing mind porters. This will increase the speed of the story and the action, but unfortunately puts Scotty out of a job. It's a story that spans the entire planet and even beyond. There's nowhere these characters and we the audience can't go, and that's pretty exciting. Judging by the preview, they pretty much go everywhere on the 101 places to see before you die list, and that's the major strength of this trailer. It tantalizes us with the set pieces. It also reunites Sam Jackson and Hayden Christensen. In their last battle, their roles were reversed. Unfortunately for Sam, it looks like his character is going to lose this one too. There are a couple of aspects that are troubling. First, after watching the preview, is anyone else tired of this jumping effect? Let's count how many times they think travel in the trailer. Now imagine that for 90 minutes. Couldn't this preview have been a little more tantalizing and just shown us a few jumps to pique our interests? I mean, seriously, Hayden is like 2 feet away from the car and he jumps into it. Dude, just open the f***ing door. This is a warning sign, number 44. The novelty of the special effect the movie introduces is already used up in the preview. Imagine if Terminator 2 had liquid metal morphing non-stop, or if The Matrix had bullet time effects from beginning to end. It would cease to impress us before the movie was even half over. Special effects are like ornaments on a Christmas tree. They make it look pretty, but they don't replace the meaning of the tree holding them up. Then there's the responsibility of science fiction. Yes, it imagines new worlds, technology, life forms, and even the future. But ultimately, it's about how that all affects humans. Great sci-fi is about people and how they change or don't in these imagined situations. The movies we remember are the ones that journey not only to the deepest parts of outer space, but also into inner space. So what are the themes of Jumper? There are a couple quotes from the preview that seem promising.
There are people out there who have power. Who you are, what you are, can change history.
But why settle on one place when you could have the whole world?
But does the rest of the movie look like it's going to explore these ideas? How would life change if every human could travel the world in a blink of a thought? Let's hope that these seeds are allowed to blossom during the movie. If the great on-screen sci-fi adventures of the past have proven anything, it's that audiences go to have their eyes dazzled and their minds blown. When it comes to a choice between status quo or a brand new adventure, we'd rather take the red pill. The potential is there, not only in the source material, but because of the filmmaking talent involved. First, Doug Liman, who we know from the preview directed The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Not mentioned in the trailer are a solid group of writers, David S. Goyer, Jim Uhls, and Simon Kinberg, who combined have a very impressive resume. Finally, the acting should be adequate. Aside from Sam Jackson, who we all know and love, the film also has Darth Vader, some guy who was in King Kong, and a girl from the OC, who should all give Razzie-proof performances, but unfortunately not Oscar-caliber explorations of character. And that's too bad, because even though this movie seems to have enough ingredients to be great, you can just feel it's settling for good enough, for being just another good guy rescuing his girl from the bad guy twirling his mustache, instead of humans trying to deal with, understand, and control power that can change the definition of who they are, what they can become, and where they can go. But at least it's trying to move cinema forward at a time when it seems like movies are looking backwards. The tagline for Jumper is "Anywhere is possible." It should also be Hollywood's tagline. So why is it that we're living in the age of the remake? Of recycled old ideas dressed up in different clothes and presented as if they're something special? Where are the big dreamers in this creative dark age? The limitations are gone, so why do audiences constantly see a lack of ingenuity and imagination on the big screen at a time when originality and revolution should be mesmerizing us every weekend? Yes, Spider-Man rocked, and Lord of the Rings was awesome, and Iron Man looks like it's gonna own, but these are all old ideas. Where are the new Stan Lee, the J.R.R. Tolkien, Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick's, George Lucas's, and H.G. Wells's? Martin Scorsese put it best when he quoted director King Vidor.
As King Vidor said, the cinema is the greatest means of expression ever invented. But it is an illusion, more powerful than any other. And it should therefore be in the hands of the magicians and the wizards who can bring it to life.
As humans, we don't have the mind portation abilities of Jumper in our reality. But when it comes to our fantasies, when it comes to the movies, anywhere really is finally possible. The only thing we need are the cinematic magicians and wizards that can take us there as we hang on to their celluloid coattails while joyously screaming, "Holy shit!" The movie preview critic rates Jumper worthy of big screen viewing, but because it's focused on being a blockbuster instead of a mind-blower, see it at matinee price. If you like Sam Jackson, you'll definitely be checking it out, especially since he's playing a bad guy. It'll be well directed and written, have innovative but not revolutionary special effects, satisfy action lovers, stimulate imagination, and because of all the teleporting, should make for a perfect drinking game. Finally, let's consider Jumper's place in movie history. Because it doesn't have the level of philosophic exploration, revolutionary CGI, nor the potential for iconic characters, it's not as impressive as The Matrix. It won't reinvent transporting enough to surpass Star Trek or even Stargate, but will be better than 2006's The Covenant, which also dealt with superpowered teen/20-somethings involved in an ancient war. So there it is, Jumper's place in movie history. So until next time, consider yourselves advised, and as always,
Long live good movies!